Welcome back to Annuity News Now. This is part two of our conversation with the president and CEO of Beacon Research, Jeremy Alexander. Jeremy, let's talk about some of the new players in the annuity industry. We're seeing banks and wirehouses jumping into the game. What does that mean for the industry?
I think anytime you see broader interest in retirement, it's a good thing. I welcome any of the distribution channels to start jumping in with both feet and really start training their reps to identify and address the retirement needs of individuals. I think that's a huge positive for both the investor as well as the rep. Moving away from one transaction type business and into more of a consultative planning practice.
Do you see education as being much more important? And as these products evolve, they become perhaps more complex. There's lots of hybrid products coming out that the need to make sure that understanding is there is pretty important, I would guess.
I think education is critical. You hit it right on the head. It's critical from the first moment that an individual gets their license. It's critical whether that's a securities license or an insurance license. I think it's critical from the standpoint of anyone who's getting a CFP or a CHFC in really understanding what the options are. 20 years ago when I went for those licenses, there was no discussions about annuities, very little education, even through the various CFP programs. And so I think we need to see more education at that level, at both the, when reps are coming into the business as well as the continuing education aspect.
Talk a little bit about regulation, how it's changed, for example, the indexed annuity markets since the FINRA's 50/50 notice. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. I think it's become clear that everyone who's out there selling product, especially index product, and really everything that a rep touches, it's critical that suitability and compliance be at the top of the list of needs. Without that, you really endanger the whole industry. Therefore, I think anything done to further regulate and make sure that the consumer remains unharmed from whatever transactions occur is critical for the industry, and without it, I think can't go further and certainly can't expand its base.
Within that realm, the notions of transparency is always talked about with these kinds of products, and your company, also works with other companies to, I guess, help make these products more transparent when they can otherwise be somewhat opaque. How do you see that evolving here in the next year?
I think it will continue to evolve. It takes time. The industry has for 100 years really built itself on driving its brand and focused very little on making its products transparent. And so anything that can be done to make a product more understandable and comparable to other products will help the entire industry.
And finally, I guess, with the average advisor in mind, what do you think is the most important thing that person needs to do in 2012 and needs to consider?
I think, with the way things have changed over the last 5 to 10 years, just education, back to education, staying up to date with everything that's going on and really trying to understand how they can further help their client by integrating various products and solutions into a client's financial plan.
And how do you see Beacon Research evolving in this next year or two with the way the market is changing?
Well, we really have been focusing on innovative ways to help advisors compare products. It's very difficult. The industry likes to call some of these products snowflakes. No one of them are the same. And although that may seem to be true, when you take a look at these products from a data standpoint, Mostly all of them have commonalities, and we find that it's our job to exploit those commonalities and to be able to show them in an understandable way so that an advisor truly can go in and provide an appropriate product for their client. Otherwise, they're forced to go through brochures and contracts and try and figure out what an individual carrier's language is and try and figure out how these things work. So we try and create a language around the features that is understandable and comparable.
My guest has been Jeremy Alexander. He is the president and CEO of Beacon Research. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Thank you.
I'm Scott Drake. You're watching Annuity News Now.